We currently have a crazy deal going on over at poodlecfb.com. If you use code BACKTOSCHOOL, all lowercase with the number 2 in the middle, you get 50% off the annual plan. And if you use code BACKTOSCHOOL2025, again, all lowercase with the number 2, you get 40% off the monthly plan. That is the best deal we've ever ran over there. Make sure to take advantage. This is a locked-in grandfather deal, so if you lock yourself into this deal, you have it for the lifetime of your membership. So come check it out, sign up, don't miss out on the best deal we've ever ran. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and today's video, I'm going over the top 5 ways you're ruining your coach. Guys, I have a super exciting announcement for you all. The CFB 26 guide over on poodlecfb.com is dropping in the coming week. If you're watching this next week, it may be out already. If you're watching it right when it drops, it should have just been released or about to be released. It is going to be absolutely electric. Guys, we're doing a way better format than last year. In this year's format, it's going to be a live updating guide. That way, you don't have to download it. You don't have to constantly be asking for updates. I'm going to be updating it weekly, as well as our team, as we find new information, going over it, and your guide will always be up to date as long as you use the live one. It's going to basically take my brain and our team's brain and put it all into one place. All of our thoughts, our quick hitters, and it's going to be laid out in a way that's so usable for you to just log on after work and just read through it. Like our best tips and tricks, methods, exploits, our current best builds, alternative builds, depending on how you play. If you're a guy who's a top 3 player, a top 3 recruiter, if you're in a 1-star league, 2-star league, it's going to have everything you could ever think of. And if you need more things, if you're in Poodle CFB over in the Discord, just at me and give us more ideas, and I'll keep laying out all my thoughts. And it's going to be very, very, very niche, down to everything you could ever think you need. If you haven't signed up already, we're running a super great deal over there for the back to school special. Code back to school with the number 2 is going to get you half off, 50% off the annual plan, which is a recurring deal. That means for the lifetime of your membership over there, you will be half off, which is an incredible special to lock yourself into. And if you want to stick to the monthly plan, we have Back to School 2025, all lowercase, by the way, with the number 2 again. You will get 40% off the monthly plan. These are recurring grandfathered deals, so make sure to lock yourself in. This is one of the best deals of the year. Come check it out, and let's get into it. So guys, I get so many comments and questions about coach builds, and honestly, sometimes they're just like indirect questions that I read and I'm like, poor guy, he's messing up his coach. And this happens a lot with me. So when I start to see these recurring, like when it's just one person, I answer the comment. When I see like 10, 15, 20, 30 people say very similar things, it's time for a video, and that's what this is for. So let's start with the first thing. And now this may contradict me a little bit, but I'm going to explain, so stay with me here. Relying on coordinators. I always tell you guys, coordinators are the most important thing in the game. They really are. It's 2 extra coaches essentially, and you could stack bonus what you do. Without them, your packages aren't that worthwhile. But I will say this: some people I hear, and this is where I see a comment. Oh, so I know player progression is really good this year, so I'm just gonna go in on talent developer motivator, and then what I'm gonna do is though I'm gonna get a recruiting coordinator and a tactician coordinator. That way I get my recruiting covered and my tactician covered. Or I hear people say, all right, I'm gonna do elite recruiter on my head coach, but on my coordinators, I'm going to do talent developer. That way I can recruit and get talent developer. There's 2 things wrong here. On the first front, everything stacks in this game. I always tell you, it's simple. You have to complement your coordinators with your coordinators. You don't want to, you don't try to like make things work. You want everything to help each other. So if you have talent developer tier 1, by the way, one of the best abilities in the game. If you have talent developer tier 1 and you have it on all 3, and you have a player drafted in the first round or multiple, you will see 200 plus skill points on your player. They will become a 90 to 99 overall in an instant. It's one of the most OP abilities. But if you just have it on 1, you're looking at like 60 points. If you have it on 2, you're looking at like 150. You have it on 3, you're looking at 200 plus. It exponentially grows everything you do. That's like 3 seasons worth of XP. So that's the first thing. Don't ever think just because you have it on your head coach or a coordinator, you don't need it. Now, the other side of this, which I think is even more detrimental, this game can be inconsistent. And remember, coordinators aren't forever. Or at least they aren't intended to be, especially when you're in a small school. When you're in a big school and you're winning and things are going well. But small schools, a lot of times, coordinators will upgrade up and be hired by bigger schools, or they can go to the NFL. If you rely strictly on a coordinator to take care of something for you, like let's say this. Let's say you do a coordinator double talent developer stack, and then your head coach will be the recruiter. If your coordinators leave you, or one of them leaves you, you can go from one of the best developing teams to one of the worst. And now you're going to be stuck in that like QB hell style cycle where you're waiting every season to find another talent developer. And in the meantime, you can't talent develop. And I'll think about it even worse from this perspective. I've seen people do this. My coordinator, my one coordinator is an elite recruiter. So I'm going to completely avoid recruiting and just go straight whatever you want to do. While I'm okay with a player progression build, an elite recruiter coordinator can leave you and suddenly you can't recruit if you're strictly relying on those packages and those hours. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're relying on coordinators to have certain things for you, because it's going to backfire the moment one of them leaves. you want it on your head coach. Your head coach should be the foundation for everything you want in your build, and your coordinators, to the best of your ability, should try to match up to at least about 75 to 80% of what you're looking to do so they can amplify each other. And that's how you end up with those magical off seasons with 200, 300 skill points, where you end up with those elite recruiting cycles where you bring in 15 recruits. That's how you end up with elite 99 overall teams. You need to be stacking things. How you end up with strategists and deal breakers coming down, or mind reader being amplified. All of that comes off of amplifying what you do. So just don't rely on them. They are great to have, but don't strictly do your whole build around like your coordinator has this. Now on the flip side, some people pick their schools for coordinators, and like I always say, I think that's a great strategy, and I love doing that, but remember, they can leave. So if it's a school that you only want it because the coordinators don't do that, now if you just want an elite recruiter head start and you have 2 coordinators that come with elite recruiter, you could do that to easily out recruit people, get your elite recruiter, then they can leave. That's always a good strategy, but again, don't strictly do everything around your coordinators, because you run so many risks and you don't want that inconsistency, because once you lose them, you could be in a 3, 4, 5 year cycle trying to find another one. I've seen people have like tactician for 1 year, then they have architect for 1 year, then they finally got a recruiter, but he's also tactician, and like you end up going through these year cycles and you never get to build them. The important thing is to build these up. Next thing is not mapping out your active perks. I always try to explain this to people, and I feel like this is still something that goes like kind of misunderstood. On the left side, active perk, draft dividends, 3,000 bonus XP when a player is drafted. So when you get to the draft phase, and you have 10 players that are drafted, that is 30,000 XP. So you want to be amplifying that by making sure, and that goes with your coordinators too, that you're feeding into this. So you have a tactician boost here. You want to be getting wins. That is 900 bonus for each win. So if you get 10 wins in a season, that is 9,000 extra XP. That is huge. But there's 2 ways to map it. There's the early jumpstart way, and there's the general way. So the early jumpstart way is when you first start your coach, be patient. You don't have enough points to do much anyways. Make sure, like if you start at recruiter, make sure you spend no points there so you can get your active perk of signing recruits 100. And then in the off season, you can switch to motivator, and to switch, you just buy some packages of motivator, more than you have in recruiter, and that switches to leveling up. So in the draft phase, or in the the trading results period, you can then switch to motivator, and when you get those big boosts for leveling up your players, you get more XP. And then if you want to switch to tactician so that you get the wins during the season, and then back to recruiter, you could really play this in a way that gets you so much XP, but more importantly, understanding what your active perks are. If you have an architect coordinator, you get 400 bonus XP when a player maxes a skill group. So if you're 2 away from maxing IQ, or 2 away from maxing route running, or whatever it is, you may want to, in a manual league especially, you may want to purposely always go right for your skill caps if you're trying to grow your coach, especially on players you don't care about, like backup players or lower overall players with bad caps. Even bringing in players with bad caps could be a nice strategy, especially back when position changing broke them. Bringing in a few 1-2 star guys with low caps, or normal dev guys if you have strategists. That way you can quickly just use their manual points on players you're not going to use, and just go ahead and get your easy points every time you hit a skill cap. If you can hit like 6 to 20 skill caps, let's say you hit 20 skill caps, that's insane. That is 8,000 XP just for skill caps in the offseason if your coordinator has it. So just make sure you are benefiting from that and taking advantage of mapping out your active perks. If you have CEO, that's 12,500 for playoff wins. There's just so many different things that you want to be paying attention to and making sure you utilize it, because first off, level 100 takes a long time. If you're a top tier coach and you're already 60, it still takes a long time. Getting a head start where your league mates are all level 15, you're level 32 is a huge difference, and that happens when you map out your active perks. This one's huge. Not accounting for variable cost this year. I see a lot of people say, I mapped out my coach and I made a miscalculation, I'm 50 short. And now while you might think like, oh, 50 short's not bad, that could be the difference between a usable coach and a non-usable coach. So let's say you try buying a little bit of everything and you're buying those packages. Let's say your last thing you're going to buy is talent developer. If you're 50 short, you're going to miss out on a whole position group of tier 3 and a little bit of a second one. That is huge. And I've seen people who miscalculated so badly that they're 100 short, and now they can't even buy anything in recruiter or anything in motivator, and that's a problem. Or they can't get the CEO they needed, or they can't get program builder for strong roots or relationship builder, which is a huge thing, especially when we're counting on that to do certain things for us. And what I mean by variable costs is when you go to buy these packages, they change in cost. I'm going to drop my webcam for this portion. Behind my face cam, do you see where that is? Purchase price is 25. Why is that 25? Because we bought, as you see right here, talent developer. Each tree you buy makes it go higher. So the first tree on these is 10, then it's 20, then it's 30. So there's a way to buy these. If you were to buy hybrids first, these go up by 5 as well. So motivator was right now you see is going to be 25 for master motivator, 25 for architect, or 25 for strategist. If I buy that, then the next one goes up. So also on the flip side, hybrids make these trees go up, the base trees, but the base trees don't make the hybrid trees go up. So what you want to actually do here is make sure you're utilizing your base trees first. So if you know you want to only get motivator and recruiter, make sure you purchase those first. Because if you purchase a hybrid tree and then come back, these jump up 10 per. So if you were to purchase right now like architect, this will go up to 35. And if you purchase strategist, this will go up to 45. But if you buy them in order, these go 10, 20, 30. So just make sure you're buying your base trees first, then you're going to your hybrid trees, and also making sure you account for that, because that could be 25, 35, 30. So now you're looking at almost 100 points just in unlocking, which you may not have been accounting for, which will make you 100 points short. So definitely plan that out when doing it, and also plan the points you have to spend in them. So let's say you want strategist, which we do, and let's say you're doing a talent developer motivator strategist build, which is one of my favorite builds in the game. You have to buy recruiter and tactician and spend 15 each. That is 100 points you're going to use just to get this open. So that's 100 points less. You got to keep that in mind too. And while spending it, make sure you spend it on something you could actually use. Or, like, again, remember the points of buying these packages do go towards your 50. So you actually want to buy tactician first, or sorry, tactician second, because as you buy, they get more expensive. So let's say you were to buy this last, and this is like 35 points or 30 points. You would only want to spend 20 more to get it. So that's only going to be 3 packages in recruiter. But if you buy strategist, if you buy recruiter first, you're only going to have to buy it for, let's say, 20. Then you could spend 30 in it, and then when you get to tactician, you could just utilize most of it in the 30-point buy. If that doesn't make sense, comment down below to help you out with that. It's a little bit more complicated, but basically, by buying recruiter first, there's more points to buy packages up to 50. If you buy recruiter last, and it already costs 30, 35 points, you only have like 10 to 15, 20 points to spend in there, unless you want to go over the 50, and you don't want to do that for the build. The next one's going to be not mapping out your path. And now, a little different from the math. So with the math, it's important because you may not make it to where you want to go. But mapping out your path is important because you want to see how you're going to stack things. Because things stack here. So let's say you say, I want to be a talent developer with some tactician and some recruiter. Okay, that's fine. But remember, you are going to miss the put in the work off-season training boost. So if you're willing to lose out on that, that's fine. But remember, this costs 24 points to get to, and you're going to want to buy it 7 times. So that's like a pretty hefty buy. So if you're not going to go in on that and you're missing it entirely, that's fine. If you want program builder, you got to factor in those 30, and you got to factor in what it takes to get to your point. So you may want like this package and that package, but that's going to cost you to get to tier 3. That's going to cost you 48 points plus the 30 buy, which is 70. So you always want to map out what each thing costs and what package you're trying to get to, and if you have the ability to get to it. So a lot of people say, I'm going the CEO elite recruiter route. That's going to be mine. By the way, we're in a 5-season league. In a 5-season league, the odds of you getting CEO are very low. And by the time you do get it, it may not be worthwhile. And elite recruiter as well, by the time you get it, it's not even going to matter because it's going to take till season 5. Or even if you got it in season 2, like you got it season 2 and season 3, you could start actually buying into it. It would take season 3, they'd come into season 4 as freshmen, and then they'd be redshirted. In season 5, they're redshirt freshmen. They wouldn't even be startable players yet, and your league would almost be over. And in my guide, and the Poodle CFB guide that is dropping, or may have dropped already by the time you're seeing this, that guide actually has a whole breakdown for how long your league goes and the variables that go into it on whether or not you should go a recruiting build, a CEO build. But a lot of people are like, I'm going this build, or I'm going to be a talent developer build. I'm going to be this build. I'm going to be that build. But then I'm going to get elite recruiter coordinators. Again, map out everything you want to do before you get into it. It is so important. And also spend your points slowly. It's going to take you a few seasons to get things. And that's another thing is, since things will take a few seasons, if like you know that talent development is going to take you 5 seasons or 4 seasons, however you're mapping your CEOs, and take you 6 seasons, map that out. Don't get impatient because you only have a certain amount of points. Last thing is buying things at the wrong time. Cannot stress this enough. So let's go through a scenario here. It's week 1 of a season, or it's preseason, whatever you want to call it. Preseason or week 0, and you're looking to where to spend your 40 points. In your build, you're going to get motivator and recruiter. So you're going to go up to motivator tier 3, or you're going to go up to recruiter tier 1, let's say, or tier 2. Let's say you're about to go buy tier 2, and it's week 0 or the preseason. Don't buy that yet, because increased starting interest doesn't impact you because the season already started. It only counts if you do it before a new class is generated. That tier 2 isn't going to help you at all for this upcoming season. So what I would do instead, if you want to spend the points now, I would go to motivator and see, okay, I'm going to tier 3, and to get there, tier 1 is a interest boost for recruits. That's going to help me if I hit a skill cap. And then hot hand is quarterbacks stay hot through timeouts, changes, and across games. So for me, I'm like, while I don't like tier 1 and 2 as much, they do impact the current season I'm in. So I'll just start that route and wait on the second one. Now, it's not to say that you want to have all of tier 2 set up for next season, so you want to just save the points. But this is if you're trying to spend your points as soon as possible. There are some things that are actually going to help you. So for instance, let's say you had all 3 of these unlocked. And talent developer. Starting quarterbacks will gain XP faster. So if I'm looking to buy a week 0 package, I'm going to probably just start buying Star Maker because it's going to impact me during the season. Or 2, freshman, sophomore quarterbacks progress faster. I have a star freshman. I rather just buy that now so it starts developing my players, my new recruits, and I can work on the other one later. Just make sure you're buying things at the right time. Same thing with program builder. If you only had 40 points to spend and you want to increase your pipelines, but you're already into a recruiting cycle, just wait. Just wait. You're not going to get all the starting interest boosts. You're not going to get any of that. Just wait on that. Dream school. If you're already at week 2 and you're past like that whole insta commit type phase, just you could pass that too. If you're trying to get active perks, again, active perks are important. If it's week 1 and you really want to buy motivator tier 1, but your active perk is going to be recruiter right now, just wait, because National Signing Day happens before the training results day. So you don't want to get out of motivator, or you don't want to get out of recruiter until after National Signing Day. So keep all those things in mind. There's such a strategic timing to how you buy things in this game, and it goes a long way in coach development, the recruits you bring in, and actually how impactful your coach will be each and every season, which gives you an edge on your opponents. But guys, that's about it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn that notification bell so you don't miss a single upload. Don't forget, our guide is dropping or has dropped. It is going to be such a cool setup for the guide in a way that makes it so easy for you guys to just log on. Possibly don't even need the video. Just at your free time, at the train ride home, after dinner, early morning, at the gym. You just want to quickly update yourself on like, what do I need to be doing to be ahead of my opponents, dominate, and know everything without having to spend time watching videos or reading or learning. This guide will have everything and it'll always be updating. And of course, if you want to get up and you're not in it already, code back to school, all lowercase with the number 2, gets you 50% off the annual plan, which is an incredible deal, and you're locked in for life for as long as you want to be a member. Code back to school 2025 gets you 40% off the monthly plan. Make sure to check it out, guys. If you haven't already, the season is starting, NFL and CFB. We are partnered with Chalkboard. If you sign up with my code, the link will be down below in the description. You get a free $20. No deposit necessary, no strings attached, nothing. You just make an account, you download the app, and you use my code. Poodle members over here and in the Discord get $20 for free. The link will be down below, and if not, the code is Poodle CFB, all caps. Make sure you do check it out. It is a free 20. It is free money. You don't want to miss it. Guys, it's better for the video. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.